That's basically what we let off with. It's just trying to improve every single day and trying not to let other people define what being correct looks like, what being happy looks like, what being at peace looks like.
Mike McGuirl has shown you this afternoon what tough defense, grit, and experience and smarts will get you in this league.
McGuirl for a third three. Good! Good! Good for Mike McGuirl!
There's time here for Stokes. Maybe not for that, but McGuirl got it away in time. Yes!
Oh, goodness.
My goodness. McGuirl.
How about this?
Oh, and again, a chance for a 4-point play.
Can you talk me through one of your biggest adversities while you were a college athlete? Because I know you'd experienced the COVID year too.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
There was times where I was about to play good, then the season ended because of COVID-19. It's a lot of pressure. And to know that like what I do can influence other people, it's sort of like puts this feeling like I need to be perfect. You ever get the opportunity to do what you love, cherish it.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Highest Version Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Philvong, and on this podcast, we talk about falling in love with the process of getting better every day, becoming the highest version of ourselves. Today's guest is Mike McGuirl. From delivering newspapers in Ellington, Connecticut, to being named MVP of a professional basketball league over in Europe. Mike's journey has been nothing but amazing. From being the number 6 high school recruit in the state of Connecticut and winning multiple state championships, to being a standout leader at Kansas State University, facing NBA caliber players like Austin Reaves, SGA, Cade Cunningham, the list goes on, and having experience playing overseas and still being an impactful player. Mike McGuirl, to me and to everybody's eyes, is the true definition of hard work, grit, and dedication. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest, Mike McGuirl. Hey, Mike, thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate your time. How are you?
No, well, Randy, thanks for having me on the podcast.
It's crazy, man, because I got to experience, obviously your playing, your greatness at such a young age. We played travel ball together, which is, I think, still kind of crazy to me, playing at the Basketball Hall of Fame, and just even being on the team, being able to ride the bench while I was able to see you score all of our points for our team.
I don't really think, I think we had a good team. My dad was obviously the coach.
Mm-hmm.
So that was always in my mind, since I'm the coach's son, I'm supposed to be the coach's favorite player.
Yeah.
But so to a certain extent, it was I didn't really want to score all the points.
Yeah. I know. I understand. Well, it's crazy you say that because I felt like your dad was definitely the hardest on you for sure out of everyone on that team. But makes sense, right? Being the coach's son. So, man, before we get into anything else, I want to get into the featured Funko Pop of the episode. So I bring in these action figurines called Funko Pops, and I like to dedicate, a Funko Pop that I have personally to my guest. Unfortunately, I don't have Michael Jordan on deck, but I do have Jason Tatum here, who I think for me and you guys, how you guys play, you both are all-around players. Your scoring ability, your playmaking ability, and just overall defense. You guys are both impactful players, and to me, that just fit right. And you guys are both family people. The dedication that he has to, obviously, his son Deuce. He loves his mom. He loves his dad. In terms of greatness and in the game of basketball and family connection, I feel like that's how I compare you guys together. So, yeah, man, just want to get your quick thoughts on I guess my comparison to you and Jason Tatum there.
Thanks. I mean, obviously, there's levels, and he's one at the highest level of basketball. So, I mean, I know some people that know him, people that went to the same high school as him. He's from St. Louis.
Yeah,
I'm from Connecticut, so he's from the city, I think, and they could really hoop out there. So that's all I know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know that difference between city life. You got Hartford, Connecticut for you down in Connecticut, and St. Louis, definitely two different cities.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I want to get into my first question. This is a question I ask all my guests. How is your mental health nowadays?
My mental health. That's a great question. Thanks for asking. Mental health, it's ever improving.
Mm,
I would say it's doing really well.
nice.
Finding ways to enjoy every single day
Hmm.
and improve. It's basically what we let off with. It's just trying to improve every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, you are. I know you've done that throughout your whole entire life. Improving every single day and how you can. How do you usually, on a day-to-day basis, like maintain your mental health? For those days that could be bad, but also, appreciating like where you are right now.
My mental health, well, first and foremost, it's really just appreciating like the smallest things.
Mm,
Appreciating water, being able to be thankful for any meals that I have, and besides that, really just trying to find the beauty in every moment.
mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I feel like we get so caught up, especially for two hardworking people like you and me. Like we get so caught up in the grind, and we lose sight of even in the chairs that we're sitting. If we didn't have it, we'd be on the floor, and our asses would be hurting. So it's amazing how you put that into your life and being appreciative of the smallest things in life, because it's about the smallest wins. So I definitely agree with you. I want to talk about is really just your mindset. What mindset did you have, or how did you develop this hard work ethic of yours?
My work ethic, it really derived from watching my dad work hard,
Hmm.
watching my dad be very consistent with his routines, and really just imagining what I wanted from my life and taking the necessary processes to hopefully achieve the goals I have for myself.
Yeah. What did you see him do, consistently, and did very disciplined? What did he do to really inspire you?
Yeah, very disciplined. He woke up about 5 a.m. every morning, went to the gym. He would run in the streets of Ellington,
Hmm.
ride his bike. And I had no clue why he would do that because it didn't look any fun. It didn't look like it was any fun.
Yeah.
But now seeing stuff like that it's sort of and football really did it.
Mm.
Football really did it because I did like football practice, like obviously like in the winter time, like it starts to get cold.
Hmm.
And then we get to Halloween. And by the time it's Halloween, it's break outside.
Yeah.
So 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 that didn't change. Like football practices were 2 hours.
Hmm.
And so I played football for like 6 years. So yeah. I
Yeah.
don't really know where it came from. A lot of
Yeah.
it was almost forced upon me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, no, for sure. I mean, seeing a role model really can help with like developing your own developments in there. I think funny story, something I always remember, because you brought up a good point about how you used to play football, and we used to play football together too. I think that was probably one of the first moments that I met you. And we were doing, I remember if it was the Oklahoma drill, I don't know if you remember that, but I think we were, so I think obviously me and you were, I think it was 2v2 or something like that. All four of us on the ground getting up. And
Yeah.
obviously, I think you were on offense with probably Andre Brackett, which we know who was an athlete himself too. And yeah, I think someone had you by the leg. I fell down, and then like I still tackled you and played through the whistle. And
Mhm.
everyone was like, "Yeah, that's how you do it." And that was like my like I guess highlight of that time. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I just after that, like you tapped my helmet and was like, good job, bro. Like let's be a team together. And that was
Yeah.
probably one of the where I knew I was like, yeah, like Mike's a good guy, and Mike a good person to be around. So yeah, I don't know if you remember that, way back in the day, but that's one of the smaller moments that I remember.
Yeah. Like reminiscing, like I remember we had drills like angle of pursuit,
Mm,
but football was so much fun. It just got too cold at the end of the season.
yeah, man. Yep, and they would tell us to like, like put our hands in our pants. Like that was the only way they were like, yeah, that's how you got to get warm. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah. I'm glad
uh,
it was not only me that remembers that.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I just want to, follow your journey here, going from Connecticut to Kansas State, everyone has a welcome to college moment, right? Going from high school to college, that's a big jump. Less than 4% of high school athletes get into play D1 athletics. So I want to know, what was your welcome to college moment, I guess?
My welcome to college moment was actually on my visit.
Okay.
I wasn't even in college yet, but I'm like, yo, these guys are so athletic. They're so good. Everybody's so good.
Yeah.
It made me lose a lot of confidence in myself, to say the least.
And then how did you, I guess, were you just observing practice? Did they put you in a couple drills in your first visit? How was that?
Yeah, all that. I had observed practice. I had joined in on like a 5-on-5 and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I was like, I couldn't even score. Everybody was just so much more athletic, and the court was so much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I walked out of the gym with one bucket, one layup.
And you're not used to that.
Yeah, I wasn't used to that.
And I think another what reminded me of you saying that is from an interview, or from, you said that the biggest thing to you that lit your fire as an energetic player was you got scored on a lot, and you absolutely hated that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, those moments. Talk to me what made you really say that.
It's like, dang, I just tried my hardest and it wasn't enough. That's what was happening in college sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But the way we trained in high school, it was like, if somebody keeps scoring on you, you just foul them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, and we didn't call in high school. They didn't call fouls in practice.
Yeah. No, I mean, going from, again, we talked about, the jump is just so big, and it's a shock factor. How did you regain that confidence after losing a little bit of that confidence within yourself?
I never really, as crazy as it sounds, I have never got the confidence back that I had when we were playing for Ellington.
Wow.
So in these previous 2-3 years,
mm-hmm.
it's really just about just getting shots up, and it's not necessarily confidence, it's more trust. Because it's I have to trust the hard work that I put in.
Right.
And so in that means I have to trust that I'm going to make the right decision when it's time to make the right decision. So yeah, I try to write to myself that I'm confident, speaking it into existence, manifesting my own confidence. I mean, still don't feel very confident.
Wow.
And Chris always exuded a lot of confidence.
He's talking about my brother Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even from the way he dresses, he sort of inspired my style.
Wow.
In certain ways. Because I remember seeing him at an Ellington High School football game.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm just this tall.
Yeah.
But seeing how he was able to talk to girls was simply inspiring to me in my quest to improve my style, my swagger, and whatnot.
Yeah. I bet I'm gonna tell Chris that. I bet he'd be so stoked. I mean, he looked at you as a little brother too. So that's awesome, man. I think with this whole thing of confidence, right? We want to achieve it a lot, and to me, what I see you do on the court, and you as a person, to me, how you looked at my brother, that's how I looked at you, exuberating that kind of confidence. So it's kind of a shock factor to me, that you felt at least right now, or back then, you don't have that same confidence as you did before. Any work right now to kind of, I guess, regain that, or are you going on kind of this different path to regain that confidence that you said that you had back in Ellington?
It's really just we you brought up our practices at the Basketball Hall of Fame, and just reflecting on those, even way back when, it was so humbling to know that we're able to have just a casual but serious practice on what should be the world's most famous basketball court. And so that was always super humbling. And I always was able to like compartmentalize way back then that like I should be able to, if I humbly reflect on those practices, I should be able to like pull out my confidence when I need my confidence.
Yeah.
It's like, because obviously like basketball, it's like so fast.
Yeah.
So it's like it's partly I feel like I only need my confidence when I need my confidence.
Yeah, I hear you. No, I definitely resonate with you on that, because when I dance, I don't know if you remember, but I've been dancing for some time, and when I dance, it's a performance, and I feel like I assume this different personality, and I exuberate so much confidence, and like I'm there. Like I know nothing can stop me at that point. Did you kind of have that same feeling when you're on the basketball court? Like you're just going into this different personality, different mindset?
Yeah. And that's sort of where the mental health is really important. Because to be able to go to like from such like a dominant mindset to like being humble enough, like outside of the performance, the performance isn't everything, but the performance, like it means so much to me that it might affect my mental health.
Yeah, right.
If I don't perform how I want to, if I don't look at myself how I want to show myself.
No, I mean, I know, I get what you're saying. It's like you put in all this hard work, right? You put it on a day-to-day basis, daily basis, right? And then when it comes to performance time, and it doesn't show the results, like how can you not be like, what is going on? You know, why am I not hitting the same shots I did in practice? Why am I not, doing these things that I did in practice in the game? And that's another thing that I feel like I did. I feel like I put up many shots in practice, can make them, but when it comes to game time, it's like, I don't know what, like the confidence is just gone at that point. I guess, how do you deal with, say, performances where like that, like you said, where it may not have been your night, or, things were not falling like they should, or defensively you weren't as performative as you wanted to be? Like, how do you bounce back from those kind of performances and keep moving forward?
I would say just having a strong mentality. Like when I was a sophomore in college, we were playing the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, and this dude from Iowa State hit the game-winning shot in my face, and I'm like from guarding him, I'm like, I couldn't have played any better defense without fouling him. But really, if we had won that game, the rest of our season could have been different.
Yeah. So,
because it was a conference tournament.
Okay, gotcha. So that was the knockout. That was the knockout at that point.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, even with that, like you did everything you could, and it still wasn't enough. How do you build that strong mentality? Like, what do you say to yourself, or do you journal something to yourself after to really get yourself, all right, this happened. What's next? What's gonna happen next?
I don't know. It was like, because growing up in Connecticut, I had witnessed UConn teams win national championships. So that was sort of my like, that's the bar for college sports, is a national championship.
Right.
I'm like, oh, this is the year. That's basically how I bounced back from everything. It was, this will be the year.
Yeah. And having that sure confidence to be like, that's like all the hard work is put in, this is the year for it.
Yeah, I mean, but that confidence, it doesn't mean anything if you run into someone who doesn't give a dang about that confidence. So I'm playing dudes who like, they don't care. They look at me like I'm tiny. But yeah. I lost a lot of ball games.
I guess why do you phrase it in that way? Like, I lost a lot of ball games versus like, the team did.
The team did. Yeah, the team did.
Yeah.
And obviously basketball is a team sport.
Right.
But I always look at how I could have been better to So my team could have won.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's taking that responsibility on my shoulders. Like nobody else allowed that dude to get a comfortable shot off for a game winner.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was my fault. So I should have been closer into his airspace, I guess, or his dribbling motion. I should have picked him up higher. But
no, I hear you, man. I've had moments in games where I felt like lost us the game, and that was like, I think that was my end of my junior year where I fouled someone with like 0.2 seconds left. I didn't need to touch him, but I did, and that was like the last game of the season for the state, and I felt bad because I'm still a junior, so all the seniors are done, and they lost because of me, because I couldn't keep my hands off when the dude's going for a rebound. I felt like I was doing the right thing. I was like, oh, I didn't touch him, but things are out of my control when the ref is saying, oh, that's over the back, or whatever it is. And a lot of the guys after were like, it's not your fault. We should have been in that position in the first place. But how can you not take that upon your own responsibilities, right? I want to know how do you give yourself compassion? How do you give yourself grace and compassion while also giving yourself that same intensity to work hard and keep grinding? Because I feel like we will always be like, oh, you should have done more, or you should have put on more weight, you should have run more, you should have X, Y, and Z. But we also have to give ourselves grace and compassion, going back to that mental health part, so that way we can give ourselves that confidence and trust, like you were saying. So yeah, to re-ask that question, how do you give yourself grace and compassion through the whole grind?
Understanding that basketball is just a sport. It's like, I know what my goal is, and I'm going to try as hard as I can to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I don't achieve it, I can only give myself grace and compassion if I know that I gave it my best effort.
Mm.
If not, I probably won't give myself that grace and
Right.
compassion.
How often did it fall on the, I'm not going to give myself that, versus like, all right, I can give myself that grace and compassion, give or take?
Probably like, it's not even fun.
No, I hear it. I think we are our own harshest critics in that, and the things that really have helped me was really taking what people say about me. And obviously I know we talk about you were obviously in the media, and there's always things that are gonna being said about you or whatnot, but understanding who you truly are at the end of the day, and I think that comes from your community, obviously, for yourself, your family, your teammates, your close friends. I feel like that could have really helped you. How do you help yourself not be your own harshest critic, I guess, or how do you battle against yourself on a day-to-day basis like that?
It's really just like, it's really fun. Really fun to battle against myself. It's just because like, I don't like, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me want to stop. It makes me want to not participate if somebody else puts expectations on myself. But I mean, just walking a very humble path, I would say that like I'm addicted to improvement and being inspired by people, but like knowing my goal, knowing what my goals are is what allows me to work hard, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, when there's always an end goal for us, I feel like that's where that true inspiration will keep us going on, every day. I want to pivot a little bit to some of, the moments that, I've seen through my research and, watching you play, highlights on your end. And, I want you to just kind of like talk me through it, the feelings of it. Let's go back to 2018. Two big things happened that year. Originally you were redshirt as a freshman, and then I forget the player, I believe one of the guards got hurt. You were redshirting, which we know redshirting is like where you're not really supposed to be playing, right? Like that's what the term redshirt really means. But you get called in against Creighton, and you have an outstanding performance. just talk me through that experience through your eyes, man. I mean, that's not a lot of people get to experience that. So I would just love to hear your obviously your perspective.
Okay, through my eyes, that's a great question. I would say, knowing that I was going to play in that game before the game allowed me to be ready when my number was called.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it was just about, I was really mad because um, I'm not trying to like start like any type of like beefs,
Right.
but 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 at that level, we take the scouting report really like serious. So we know we know everything about everybody on the other team.
Right.
And I was offended by how highly my head coach talked about Creighton's best player.
Mm.
And so my goal was really just to be better than their best player
Right.
in that game. And I really feel like that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, dropping shot after shot, being a defensive juggernaut. I mean, man, that was amazing to see live from my eyes. That was amazing to see live from my eyes. So I think obviously that kind of lit a fire, and I feel like when your best performance comes in when someone doubts you, and I don't think anyone would ever want to doubt you on and be on the other end of that, especially if I was Creighton. And in that same year, you knocked out Kentucky, which, as we know, University of Kentucky is a great, huge basketball dynasty in college basketball. I mean, in that final moment, since you were talking about guarding guys that were going to make either the game-winning shot, a game-tying shot, in that final play, you were guarding SGA, which we know who's NBA champion now. Walk me through that. You said that was one of the best. One of your best moments from college was that Kentucky game.
So I'm gonna explain the only difference between that and the following year when we lost at the buzzer.
Mm-hmm.
He had just missed the shot. He made that shot, they would have won. So it's crazy how it really just comes down to that. But yeah, he missed the shot.
And that was like, you're like, all right, well, that was me. But I mean, obviously you were jumping for joy, and that was the greatest thing to see, especially, being one of your supporters and seeing how much that joy that gave you, and just kind of the thrill that where your hard work does feel like it comes out in the result, Can you talk me through one of your biggest adversities while you were a college athlete? Because I know you'd experienced the COVID year too, which, no one really wanted to go through.
That was the biggest adversity. There was a lot of really bad timing where, like I said, I was prepared for Creighton.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I'm prepared. I know I could tell when I'm about to play good almost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was times where I was about to play good, then the season ended because of COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time I'm about to play good, but I broke my hand in practice. Not even but in practice, I broke my hand.
Mm-hmm.
It was really tough because growing up, like I said, like as a UConn fan, I had high expectations for my college basketball.
Right. Mike, tell me how. I mean, obviously, I know those times were tough. Again, we're talking about bouncing back, how to get through adversity. How did you get through those type of adversities as an athlete, as a person, honestly, as a person at the end of the day?
Praying, like just praying. Besides that, like really just trying to define for myself what I determine is important for me, my mental health and my well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying not to let other people define what being correct looks like, what being happy looks like, what being at peace looks like.
Give me the at least three definitions of, I guess, I want to lean towards well-being, but more of like just your three things that are important to you that define you.
Water.
Mm-hmm.
Having a good relationship with water.
Mm-hmm.
Breath work. I don't really know because I'm bored most of the time. So like all I really want to do is play basketball and laugh maybe and tell jokes, get some
Yeah.
good rest. So I don't know, being an entrepreneur on the side is also fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I might not be an entrepreneur at the scale that is sustainable for an actual like for my life itself.
Mm-hmm.
But just having fun with stuff that I determine is fun, and that I think is relevant for everybody because different people have different video games they prefer
Right.
or board games. So for me, it's really like I have joy in generating revenue for selling sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, really just defining what happiness is to me.
All right, man. I want to a little bit transition to, just obviously you got experience playing overseas. What challenges did that bring upon you? Again, this is something that, not people in my community or viewers, have experienced before. What was that experience like? What challenges did that bring you?
Language barriers, probably. And besides the language barriers, there was no difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing that wasn't already prevalent. No difficulties that weren't already prevalent in my life, in my mental health,
Right. Yeah.
and physical health too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the with the difference of, did you feel like there was a jump from college to that professional league, or did you feel like it was all the same relevant adversities you had to go through?
It was actually like a step down.
Mm.
To be completely honest,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean the level of college basketball I was playing at, like, competition doesn't get more stiff than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was definitely like a step down, but I still had everything that I had gained from college.
Right. Right. I hear you.
And so how contrasting that with a different opportunity
Mm-hmm.
could allow me to improve was sort of how I approached it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could definitely say I got the most out of my international experience.
Mm.
I could confidently say that. Yeah, where are your parents from?
They're from Laos.
Laos?
Yeah.
Where's that?
Southeast Asia, right next to Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah. You ever been? Ever been down
Nah,
down there?
that's like a tropical destination, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fire, bro.
I have not. I want to go back with my parents to kind of pay homage to them and just see, how they grew up. I don't know if I've ever explained that story to you about how my parents got here.
Yeah.
But my dad was 16. I think my mom was 10, about 6 years apart. So my dad had to escape so there was a war going on. It was like around the time of the Vietnam War. So a lot of families in Laos had to flee, obviously. And my dad had to swim across like a mile-long river, escape it. There was some tip that the militant group was gonna raid his home, like, or run his down, like, for that day. So he was like, all right, like, we gotta go. So he ended up swimming across a river to get to a refugee camp, and then was able to fly over to California. That's where he was able to stay. And then he knew of my mom before they both came to the States. So he knew my mom was in Connecticut. So that's where he flew to go be with my mom. My mom she was in a big family. So she was like one of like 5 sisters, 1 brother. She was really young. And if you can imagine this, like, obviously say if you're like, 8 to 10 years old, you're walking through the rice field at night to be super quiet. You step on something, you trip over something, and it's a dead body of a pregnant woman. And, you have to bribe someone that's a fisherman, right, to try to get you across the river without people being shot at. Because they're like, oh, if you fish, you're getting stuff for us, so we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna shoot at you. Come to find out, they realize they're imposters, start getting shot at. And then my mom they were able to reach a refugee camp with my grandma, get into the not jail cell, but into the cell where they're holding all the refugees. Some terrible person wants to rape, my mom and her sisters. But my grandma paid, them off to be like, hey, like, don't touch them. And they were lucky enough to get over here through my grandpa's help, because he was an ambassador. Flew them over to the States, and that's why I work hard, man. That's where I get it from, and why, to me, at one point, like, failure wasn't an option. And in a way, that created perfectionism tendencies within myself. Yeah. And that's what actually led to a little bit of that depression and anxiety and that low mental health. It's a great thing, because obviously they gave me the work ethic to do all this, right? To have that entrepreneur mindset, to be successful. But man, did it hurt to make mistakes, even the slightest. That's why I think I cared so much about my 3-point percentage during basketball. I wanted to be 100%, but I couldn't, because every shot missed felt like the worst thing in the world. Therefore, I was afraid to shoot, to even make a mistake. Yeah. Sorry, that was like tangent on how my parents came here and everything.
That was an amazing story. I would ask, like, did basketball play a role in overcoming any type of personal barriers, emotional, or anything like that?
Actually, it created more, I think. I think it's just because, obviously, playing high school ball, like, there's eyes on you, right? We have a whole crowd, all your friends are in the stands, and I didn't want to be that guy that either lost us the game or had a terrible game or anything like that. That created more barriers of my confidence, which, looking back at it now, which is crazy, because I loved the game. I loved being the hardest worker. I loved the acknowledgement from the team to be that. But it just sucked because I wanted to be confident, but I think it gave me even less confidence, which I don't know. From your perspective, I don't know how you reflect on that, if that's wild to you, or, kind of a shock.
No, not at all. I mean, it is a kind of a shock, because I'm curious about, like, how youth sports could be beneficial to a maturing person and their emotional stability and ability to take on challenges and whatnot.
Obviously it teaches you about adversity, getting through adversity. When you can't run that last suicide and you still get through it, you get through it. Yeah. You having a bad game, but you have a great defensive game that doesn't show up on the stat sheets. Like, that felt great to me. Yeah. I didn't make 0 shots. I think I made 0 shots against Summers, but I was able to lock down one of their best players and lead into get us into overtime and have us win the game. Like, he had 15 points maybe that first half. I got put in the game, had 0 points right after that. But that doesn't show on the stat sheet, that teaches you, like, there's more than just that 1 minute. There's more than that 1 second. There's the whole game left. So whatever you do at first, you just got to play for that next second, play for that next minute. So no, I definitely hear you on that, on how sports can kind of teach us about that adversity, about ourselves, about that. So I have one more longer question for you, and that is, if basketball were to not exist tomorrow, what lessons from basketball could you carry on to life? I guess that kind of goes on to what you were saying.
It's good to work with other people, but I need to have something that makes me unique. Like, even just like role players, they have their tendencies, they have their gifts to help the team win. And I've been in that position. But I would say, like, in entrepreneurship, if I could compare it to entrepreneurship, it would be saying that I want to bring something to the markets that is unique from everything else. And I forget what the concept or the word for that is in a more professional sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's that feeling that I need to be unique. I really keep that in my mind. Like the world could still exist. The society, economics, politics, all that would still exist if basketball was to be vanquished today.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still so much. Like the world, we've already made it this far in basketball, and I'm connected to the birthplace of basketball. So if basketball is still going to continue, I still want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And that's like a real extreme but practical way of answering that question. If I could, if I can.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think another something that I'm really impressed by you is that, you know, when people ask you what you want to be remembered by, you give the most simple yet impactful answer, and that is, I just want to be Mike McGuirl. So, Mike, who is Mike McGuirl today?
He is a very ambitious, creative thinker. He's a very he challenges what is known as common. He requires proof concept, sort of like the entrepreneurial way. He's very faithful in his religious background because of his family's faith overall, but he believes in science as well. Yeah, I believe in science, and so I mean I understand like mysterious stuff and whatnot, but I am a humble person.
And I would like to say you're also very self-aware as well. That I think the answer that you gave is beautiful, and I mean that is nothing more than we can ask for, right? Is for us to be ambitious in life, to strive to be, you know, 1% better every day, to be faithful and in the higher power and in the universe and what we are, and really just build that life that we want. So, you know, I want to say thank you for that message. Mike, we're getting into these like we'll have to call these fast, quick hitters here. So try to answer these in the you know, simple as you can. We're just gonna fly through them, right?
And
so, first question is, what was your pre-draft workout like with the Wizards?
Fun.
I bet it was. What are your 3 keys to success?
Hard work, consistency, creativeness.
Give me one thing of how we can push through when things aren't going our way.
I don't know.
And last but not least, what is your all-time UConn men's basketball starting 5?
Shabazz Napier, Asheen Thabit, Niels Giffey.
Niels Giffey, okay.
Ray Allen. That's a lot of pressure. There's so many UConn greats, and I'm not naming anybody from the previous years, but I'll go with Emeka Okafor.
Oof. That's a tough team to beat. That's a tough team to beat.
Yeah.
All right, man. I just want to say, you know, thank you for your time. And you know, I'm gonna give this time for you. If you had any questions for me, I know I've been asking you the questions, and I know you asking me a few. But any last remaining questions that, you know, about a topic we haven't talked about, or something that you want to know about me? I know it's been a long time since, you know, we've been able to catch up. Yeah,
I would say like what do you do for work?
Yeah, bro. I'm a senior accountant at a biomedical device company up here in Boston. I'm fully remote, which is super nice. So I'm just still on accounting, and having that as my vessel, as you can say, to my passion project here. Obviously, you see the sign, you see the setup. I would have loved to have you in the studio, but I know obviously it's a long drive, and you know sometimes things don't line up. But someday I would love to have you back here, and you know we can just keep talking about growth and being 1% better, and you know where we are in our lives.
First, I love accounting.
Oh yeah, really?
I love accounting.
What makes you love about it? Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that disagree with your stance.
It's really just like the crunching of profitability. And I actually didn't get that deep into like profitability and that stuff earlier because I didn't know that you were into accounting.
Oh, really?
When I was in college, I had I was I had got to college and my first major was finance.
Okay.
My friend on my basketball team was doing finance and accounting. So I had took on finance and accounting
Mm-hmm.
because I learned I could do both. I started taking the first 3 accounting classes, whatever basic accounting classes. I had so much fun.
Mm.
And I was also I was also saving money from being on scholarship and having a monthly whatever they called it.
Stipend income.
Stipend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh so I had thousands of dollars saved up, no debt.
Mm.
So what I started to do was I had so much fun in accounting that I started reselling sneakers
Mm.
at somewhat at scale.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was doing balance sheets on a piece of paper,
Oh, damn.
writing my monthly profit, paying. I was working with my sisters, so
Mhm.
it wasn't an official LLC or anything,
Right.
but I was having so much fun doing balance sheets in my apartment room.
Hmm.
And I would save my balance sheets, calculate my profits, pay off my sisters, however much their portion was in percentages. I had a desired profit margin of on every unit of 20%. So
Wow.
I was, and it was remote too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm buying sneakers online, selling them online.
Yeah.
So I'm looking online. If I see something that was $100, I'd envision, or if I buy something for $100, I want to
Mhm.
sell it for at least 120.
Right. Yep.
And so I was able to buy a few pairs every week.
Mm-hmm.
Took some losses, but overall, like I had money to play with, and that was how I decided to play with it.
Wow. I
They
didn't
weren't like
realize. No, go ahead. Sorry.
they weren't like super intricate balance sheets,
Mm-hmm.
but I just had so much fun
Yeah.
doing that.
Do we
Yeah,
see a Mike McGuirl accountant in the future?
yeah. I would like to be the accountant of my own business.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, you've been talking about entrepreneur mindset all this time. What's the dream business? Is it the sneaker reselling? Is it having your own gym, having your own, basketball related thing? Like what does it look like to you? What's your dream?
My dream, my dream is like being very diverse in economics itself. So
Mm,
playing basketball is my main focus,
mm-hmm.
but it at maximum it requires, if I want to stay mentally healthy, it requires 5 to 6 hours a day, I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other hours in the day, I would say if I have extra money investing into a self-made business,
Mm-hmm.
so finding a product that I could buy at scale, but that is environmentally friendly,
Mm,
eco-friendly, like all that, but still I'm able to just sell it in the market and create a profit margin off of it. Something so simple, but I find pleasure in that.
I just want to, quickly, kind of get into like, obviously like final thoughts. Obviously I want to give that gift that I want to, that I said I'll get it to you. I just want to, get through a couple questions from my audience, cause they were pretty eager to really, learn from you.
But
And yeah, I'm going off a couple here, and this person asked, what are some routines or mentalities that help keep you at your highest version?
it's 5 spots, 5 makes.
Hmm.
It's understanding that I could get away from this routine for months and months and months, but the day that I get back to that routine, I'm going to feel like same me.
Hmm.
I'm going to. It's being able to get back to a routine no matter how long I've been away from it.
And that's something you've had what since youth? Since you were playing like pee wee ball, or I'm not sure what like grassroots. Sorry, grassroots.
Yeah, in grassroots, that's when I was developing the routines.
Mm-hmm.
So the routines have been in development for as long as possible. And then trial and error, I find out what routines do not work, what routines I'm uncomfortable with, what routines make me feel good, what make routines make me feel confident.
I think we've kind of went over this, but what was the life-changing moment that helped you get to where you are today?
Probably, I didn't really have one.
Why you
I
say
didn't
that?
have just because nothing changed my life in a good way. There was really no. I've had some crazy memories, experiences that were like once in a lifetime.
Right.
Ain't nothing changed my life.
You're still.
I'm trying to change my own life. I take responsibility for 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 for, for achieving any blessings that are meant for me. Anything along those lines.
I love that. I love that. All right, man. I'm gonna get into this next segment, and I'll reach out to another lifelong friend of yours, really longtime friend of yours. His name's Ricardo Papa. Obviously, it's a very mutual friend. I asked him, to write you a letter about how much, just talking about your friendship and how much, he's impacted you. So I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it to you right here. He said, "To my brother, you're one of the main reasons I push myself and go further than what I even thought I was capable of. Most of the time, you don't even know about this, but seeing how hard you work and how hard you push yourself has pushed me through some really tough times. The dedication you put into your craft is something special that can't be duplicated, brother. I'm always so appreciative of you for always being present as a friend, brother, and just someone to listen to throughout every single year I've known you. Every time I needed someone to talk to just to get my mind off of something, you've been there. I honestly never knew I would get a brother out of a friendship, but that's always what I got from you, my guy. Whenever we used to go to Windermere to work out nonstop and push each other to my limits, you always pushed me to go a little further and be better. I hope I always did the same for you, my guy. The most memorable moments I had those days were always with you, bowling people on mini hoop, bowling out in Talon Bubble, and sometimes in FIFA or 2K. No matter how busy you are, you take time out of your day to get back to the people in your life, and that's a special quality to always have. I hope you always know you were a big part of shaping who I am today. The dedication to a craft, always being kind to others, being there for friends when they need you, being present for your family. That's all you, man. You impact so many people's lives in a positive way, and keep doing what you do. Best, Ricardo." So,
Wow.
yeah, man, I want to get your thoughts on that, and just hearing that from one of your lifelong friends there.
Yeah, Ricardo is, I would say, like, he really inspired me to work on my ball handling.
Wow.
Because he was working so much his ball handling. I was like, I can't let him outwork me ball handling. But yeah, we spent hours on hours with each other outdoors working on our crafts.
Yeah. I mean, he always told me, he was like, "Yeah, gotta go work out with Mike this summer, trying to get all my work in." And yeah, owe it to him, because that dude would always have a tennis ball, bouncing throughout the hallways, always have a trash bag or a plastic bag on his ball. He's also someone that you need to have go around, and, overall good guy, and just being dedication to his craft. To explain, why I did that was because I feel like on a day-to-day basis, for people like us, like, we are grinding, we are, dedication to our goals. Like, we always look forward, right? And sometimes we don't see that impact that we have on other people. And for me, I feel like there were times in my life where I felt like I was on autopilot. And because I was on autopilot, I didn't realize the impact that I had. Therefore, I went into that depressive state. I went into feeling like people didn't like me, people didn't love me, people didn't want me around them. And for me, like, having this letter, to be presented to you, it's just, just kind of a reminder, whether you do know how much of the impact you have or you didn't. Like, it's just a simple reminder to us, to you, to myself, to people listening, to people watching, that, hey, like, you do make an impact a lot more than you think. So yeah, that's why I did it. And I don't know if you had any reflections just on the purpose behind that.
Yeah, that makes me a little emotional, bro. I would say like I don't for the majority of it, like I don't like to be able to make such an impact
Yeah.
because it's a lot of pressure. And to know that like what I do can influence other people, it's sort of like it sort of puts this feeling like I need to be perfect.
Hmm.
So and so like that's why like the I put a lot of value in having enough space to make mistakes. And that sort of goes on the whole risk assessment thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm gonna miss a lot of shots. But regardless, like I don't wanna be a negative influence.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of pressure.
No, I feel you on that for sure. And especially just, being on the platforms that you've been on, I can understand how much, that held a weight to you. And but I can definitely confirmly say, I don't care what anybody else says, but I know you've made such a positive impact on, the people around you, the town of Ellington, Kent State basketball, just for the game in itself. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree with me. And that's why, when you went back, to anything, that you did it for the right intentions and right purpose, and people loved to have you in their presence, and not just for basketball, but for you as a person. So yeah. I just wanted to let you know that.
I think I'd rather be like funniest person in the person.
I got you, bro. Yeah, I got you. Don't worry, me and Pops definitely think you're funny.
All right, good.
All right, Mike, I want to get into my last three questions. I call them the big three questions. These are the last three questions that can leave a final impact on our viewers. And our first question to you is, if you could sit down with a younger Mike, what would that interaction be like? What would you say to him? What would you guys do together? What would that be like?
I would tell him that life is really boring. I would like that. I mean, the majority of your life will be very boring.
Mm.
So, you ever get the opportunity to do what you love, cherish it.
I love that. All right, man. My second question to you is, what does becoming the highest version of yourself mean to you, and how are you doing that today?
Highest version of myself, I would put that hand in hand with being the best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means in basketball, without harming myself, I want to know how good I am at basketball.
Mm.
And so I would consider myself somewhat of a scientist in basketball. How good am I? If I go up against the best players today, how good will I be? How well will I do?
How about you outside of basketball? What does becoming the highest version look like?
I have no idea.
That's cool.
And
You figure it out.
That's something I'm really like curious about. Like what will I do after I'm done with basketball?
I feel that's a question a lot of people, when they retire, they ask themselves that. But I think what you're on right now is the right mindset, right? The entrepreneur mindset, having that businesses, having an impact. And I feel like that will be your basketball after basketball, that fast pace, competitive, and the thing that fuels your fire and passion. Because let me tell you, when you're starting out as a startup, as or whatever like tiny business that you are, that you have, for me, that is being a small content creator. I don't have 1,000 followers. I don't have X, Y, and Z, but I'm competing against all these people that have millions of followers, and I want to show the world that you can have a lot of benefit from just listening to these podcasts, listening to us talk, listening to just what I have to say. And it gets competitive because I know that in your heart you would want to keep climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, but just for being you and no one else. So, you know, if you do go down that route, I think you'll have fun in it. It'll be some adversities like you know about, but I think you'll have fun for sure.
That's something I would like to ask. Like, what's the goal of the Highest Version podcast?
The goal is to help people prioritize their mental health. That's the main goal. It's getting better nowadays, but I still think there's not enough platform and not enough dedication to mental health for people to speak out on it, because everyone either A, feels like they're a burden because they don't want to burden other people with their feelings, or two, people don't have enough resources, right? People don't have enough resources to do that. So my biggest thing is just to make an impact that way, and help others build a life that they want, and let them know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because I know what it was like to feel like there wasn't one, and helping everyone realize that, you know, they matter, you know?
So being an accountant, I'm very, very much on numbers and quantitative, whatever. Is there a way to quantify the goal of this podcast?
Yeah, there is. It's by, obviously, number one, obviously, is viewership. That's one of them. Following, sponsorship, monetary value. I'm looking to create a Patreon later on with exclusive content that will help determine how much people really, you know, fuck with me as a person, and really value what I say. And even if someone didn't, I feel like everyone has told me there's always been one person that's like, hey, like, I really acknowledge what you're saying and I appreciate it because it's something I needed to hear. So I want to say numbers wise, impact will be my goal. If I can get to 1,000 followers, I think I would be happy in that moment. And I want to say in that moment because I know once I see that, I want to go for 2, then 3, then 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I see like the goal is on that much of impact.
Yeah.
And my last question to you is, if you can connect me with someone to come onto this podcast that you think would be great, you know, who would it be and why?
Probably like Barack Obama. He joined this podcast. I think it would take off.
I think so too. I would love to have a conversation with him. What kind of questions do you think you would want to hear during that podcast? Hypothetically.
That he would want to hear?
That you would want to hear through our conversation. Like, what questions would you want me to ask him, I guess? Yeah.
I would ask him first, how could I improve? That'd be my first. I would tell him what I bring to the table and how can I improve? And then from there might be questions in return.
Mm-hmm.
And that starts a back and forth dialogue. But yeah, I would just ask him ways to improve. All
right, Mike. You know, I just want to say, you know, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on and, you know, talking about your story, talking about not only basketball Mike, but Mike McGuirl himself. And yeah, man, I just want to say I'm appreciative of, you know, just allowing me to be a connection with you and, you know, and talking through a lot of things, and super grateful for you, super grateful to even be, I want to say just like, you know, learning from your hard work and dedication and grit and values. So thank you, man. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing such a intimate story with me today as well. And it's always in the loneliness of my mind, it's nice to have a reference for any time that I do go through a mental health bout with myself. Mm-hmm. In the future, I know where to look if I'm looking for relatability.
Yeah.
And so best of luck with the Highest Version.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Thank you, man. Yeah. And please, you got my line. Hit me up. We can talk through anything about, you know, just growth, mental health. Like, I'm down to. I went to therapy for 4 years, and, you know, hopefully I can provide something in that. And yeah. All right. Just going to do the sign off here. And guys, if you like any part of this episode, please make sure you clip it, tag me and Mike in it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when the next episode is going to go out. And as always, let's fall in love with the process of getting better every day and becoming the highest version of ourselves. Love y'all.